humility and appreciation, and with a great sense that they belong to my ancestors, especially the women in my family. Thank you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. Entered the winning for the long haul, baby. Our guest today is Mr. Sharif, small serial entrepreneur, big time in real estate, now doing some work with the Greater Baltimore Urban League. Sharif Small, how are you, sir?
Hey, morning, sir. Busy and blessed. How about yourself? How you doing today?
Good, good, good. How have you? What have you been up to?
You kind of just mentioned it. Just enjoying life, living life, making sure that you know, uh, doing my calling, doing my purpose. Running the businesses and take care of the family, especially my beautiful wife, Alicia. And the latest project, of course, is last 2 weeks ago. I became I've been honored to be. Been able to be director of entrepreneurship for the Haynesburg Entrepreneurship Urban League Center, which I'm excited about. Is continuing to help these businesses, grow and scale and to be successful.
So, where is the Haynesburg Entrepreneurship Center these days?
Well, the home location is on Orchard Street, 512. Far as I know, it's currently being renovated. So right now, we're for the most part working remotely, or we'll actually go to meet with the businesses in person at that location site. So it's 2024 things you're able to do kind of in different in multiple ways. But yeah, that's how we're pretty much operating as of right now. And a lot of stuff we're doing is pretty much through Zoom and team meetings as well.
Okay. And what will people learn?
So what I would say that the first thing that what people will understand what the center is about, I would say number one is about being an anchor and being a hub and helping the foundation of businesses to grow and scale to be successful. So the first thing is just helping them with the right steps of starting a business. And the reason why I said it because most businesses take the wrong steps in starting the business. I've seen too many people pay too much money just in starting a business. So make sure they take the right steps. And then also making the next step. So they've been in business for a couple of years. They're really trying to figure out what's next. So a lot of times businesses be going around in a circle as opposed to like taking those steps for their business to grow and scale to be successful. So we have coaches that meet or talk to these businesses one-on-one and really do a diagnosis of the business, find out where they are, and make sure that they get the resources and guides and assistance and advice they need to take those next steps for that business to grow in the business and to be able to scale. So certain things that we are focusing on, I'll put to that we are focusing on in detail. With many businesses is really find out what their situation is, looking at their business from a financial, from a business and from a marketing standpoint, and it's helping them with making those type of improvements. Unfortunately, 80-90% of businesses, their books are not where it needs to be. And that's, I'm a tax accountant. So that's one of the focus areas that we look at is looking at the financial foundation, their cash flow of the business, their profit loss statements, their balance sheets, their bookkeeping systems. Those are one of the first things that is one of our objectives is looking to make sure they have that stuff in place. And they don't, we have resources for them to do that. Next thing is MBE. We're going to be focused on making sure more businesses are able to get their MBE certification because it's a long and it's a daunting process. And the third thing is trying to get more of our businesses into government contracting We're actually hosting a government contractor workshop next Wednesday. It's in person. And that's the second thing about the center is in addition to doing one-on-one coaching, right? It's God to make the right steps. But next thing is making sure that they be able to come to networking events and come to resources so they can be for their business to be successful. And majority of minority-owned businesses don't even think about offering their services to the government, and one because they don't know how. So we work with APEX, which is a government agency where they work with businesses how to grow it and how to position their business to offer their services to the government, state, federal, local. So we have different agencies that's going to be there. We have different government contractors that are already in business and government contracting. It's going to talk about their experience and their process and how they're able to offer services, to the government. So just giving businesses more direction of where their business should go so that business can sustain. I've been in business for 20 years, 35 total with my dad. But the last 10 years, I've been a subcontractor with the SBA doing business consulting and coaching, and it has sustained my business. And it's been a blessing. So if it's helped me in turn, I want to make sure that other businesses externally get those same experience.
Oh, you said a lot there. So let's unpack that. Let's start with the accounting. What do you do with, in terms of accounting? What are the first steps that you take?
Well, the first thing is to ask them, do they have QuickBooks or type of accounting system? I was just with a client yesterday. She said no, had a home health care business. She said she has nothing. She's been doing like Excel spreadsheet receipts. I said that you can't, it's very hard to create profit. Let's say with the balance sheets with that. So the first thing we talked about is her getting set up on QuickBooks and helping her set that up and going through the process. And the good thing about QuickBooks, they have live bookkeepers that you can work with that they will actually help you get your books in order, right? And so that's one option. And another option is we work with other bookkeepers that at a affordable cost because you got to have some skin in the game. Every resource that we provide you is not going to be free. Just be honest with you, get a guy some skin in the game. But people that we refer is people that we've worked with in the past, and they know they've been efficient in making sure people have good and clean books. So we'll connect it with bookkeepers to be able to make sure they do that. So we give them options with QuickBooks, and then also with a lot, in-person bookkeeper. So that's one of the first things that we wind up doing, and making sure that they set up their QuickBooks, they download the transactions, they put it in categories, and things of that nature, and then they have a bookkeeper to review it to make sure that the transactions are recorded correctly, and then they can create those profit loss statements. And we'll look at that profit loss statement and give them advice on certain things that strengthen the profit loss statement and the balance sheets. If you're gonna have a profit, or more likely you won't have a loss. So we have to have a conversation about that. Then we gotta look at the balance sheet and look at what type of savings, what type of checking your savings account, and what type of credit cards, what type of debt you have, and then what is your owner's equity. So we can strengthen. So when we get you over to a CDFI, we get you over to a bank, they feel comfortable with you trying to give you some, and that's another thing before is helping business be able to think about getting some access to capital, but then also have a cash flow statement and have a budget that makes sure in their business plan and their financial projections that they can actually financially afford to take your additional debt and be able to pay it back. So that's helpful, working in capital or equipment. And then eventually one day our goal mindset is it's not just about owning the business, but if we can get you to own the building of your business one day, that would be, ideal. And we help them put that in their business plan and be able to help them strengthen their cash flow to be able to afford that.
So do you find that most businesses need the accounting, need the QuickBooks? Is that typically what you start off with a business?
That's about 80% of businesses pretty much need that, unfortunately, because they wind up getting stuck because they have, some revenue coming in, or they want to hire people, and they want to grow and they want to expand. But if you want to grow your numbers, you got to know your numbers. Like, and most businesses just don't know it. So that's one of the first thing, and the second thing is know who's that team, who's in charge of what far as their operations, of their business. For the most part, they make pretty much a solo entrepreneur. And I always tell people you're in business for yourself, but you cannot be in business by yourself. You need 4 or 5 coaches. So in addition to working with us, we connected with the Small Business Development Center, which offers coaching at no cost. We connected with SCORE, which offers coaches at no cost. And then also there's another organization that I used to be a small business navigator for called MBOT, Maryland Business Opportunity Center. And they actually have a program, because I used to be a part of it, where if you've been in business for 2 years and you make over 100,000, they can actually provide some accounting services at no cost to you. I
If you
mean, they
make
will actually pay for to get your books in order, but you had to be in business for 2 years. Your revenue got to be at least over 100,000 for them to be able to provide that service, because they have experts. And I used to be one of them, accounting experts. So if they hit that criteria, we actually would send them over to there where they do consulting with them as well as with us, and they can help them get their books. So there are a lot of resources out there. So let's say you need like 4 or 5 different coaches for your team. You shouldn't just have one coach to help you with your business. You need like 4 or 5, because we all have different perspective and we all different experts. And we all pretty much work together to be able to help these businesses to be able to not just working in it, but they got to be working on their business as well.
Well, you say a lot there. You might want to slow down so we can get some good notes in here, Sharif.
Gotcha.
So the second thing you talked about was
I know.
Is certification. So I take it that you believe in the Minority Business Enterprise Program.
I believe in it, but I think there's still some assistance that needs to be held with it. Like, so even at the event that we're doing next Wednesday, we're going to have the MBE outreach team there. And they're going to be having information for those that are looking to get their MBE certificate, or those that are actually in the process and they're kind of maybe doing it themselves, but they also do offer an assistantship program. So as you are, go through that class, they have a class that most people don't even sign up for, which is at no cost.
Slow down. Are you talking about the state of Maryland?
Yeah, MDOT. Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about so look, if we're gonna school people, we gotta break down these acronyms that you use on a daily basis and like the back of your hand. So a lot of people don't know what MDOT is, where it is, what they're in charge of, the interrelationship between MDOT and the various other agencies, and how they got to be important from a gubernatorial standpoint, meaning is MDOT under Westmore as good as MDOT under the last governor or the one before them?
I definitely feel like more emphasis have been put on MBE, which I think is good. Is just making sure that from a state.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, so just from conversations from people at MDOT, like there's really more emphasis, number one, at making sure that minority businesses actually get a piece of that pie, like they're actually getting some contracts, whether it was a prime or a side. I don't think beforehand.
Now you throwing curveballs. Now you're mixing me up. Minority business enterprise typically is geared towards getting businesses subcontracts, correct?
Well, you could be a prime or sub.
That's not my question.
I understand, but that's my answer.
Typically, when that conversation comes up, it's about blacks, but also now women, white women, Latinos. So that's why we got to slow down a little bit. When these programs first came on board back in the 60s, thanks to people like Perrin Mitchell, it was the level of playing field for black people. Right?
Oh, yeah. I remember not just Perrin Mitchell, but you talking about Robert Clay, you talking about Arna Jolivet. They was an advocate for making sure that us as black folks be able to get. Now, of course, other ethnicities have got to mix into that. Yeah. So
white women tend to get more minority business enterprise contracts than anybody.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem. So yeah, that's but you gotta let me finish. That's what I was trying to get at. So what I've been from the conversation that I've been having is that there has been more emphasis on making sure that Black folks are supposed to be getting these contracts now. There was an emphasis on that before under the previous administration. So from the conversation I've been having with people in the administration, like in the contracting officers, right? There's contracting officers in these state agencies, right? That I have had conversation with, that there has been more pressure on them making sure that African Americans actually get more of these government contracts, which leads to the events that we are hosting and making sure we focus on African Americans are getting these contracts from these agencies as a prime as well as a sub.
Sharif, I've been covering minority business enterprise for the past 22 years, and I tell you that nothing much has changed. Blacks are getting 1 to 2% of the
I agree.
contracts
I agree.
historically.
I agree. That's the reason why
And
I'm having the event next week.
well, the event,
Okay,
the
what you
work
say?
we're talking about is on the inside,
I
and it's
agree.
really the head of agencies. When
I agree.
Governor Westmore first came on board, he talked about holding the various agencies accountable. He gave them all 90 days, as a matter of fact, for a plan. And I think the proof that we're looking for is with not so much the people on the inside, because that's their job to say that they're doing
That's
well.
their job. Don't mean they're going to actually fulfill that job or that purpose.
Right. So I think the proof is in the businesses that are out here,
Mhm.
from Prince George's County to Baltimore County to Baltimore
Well,
City. What are
yeah.
these businesses saying?
Well, I think it's twofold, right? Because for one end, it has been an issue with that, was them actually being able to get these contracts. But I think also we got to make sure that these businesses are actually ready to fulfill these contracts. Because as you are looking to
They
fulfill
say
these
that.
contracts, you got to have access, to capital, because it does take some time well, it has changed with the state where they're supposed to pay you within 15 to 20 days. They're supposed to. Some do, some don't. So you got to make sure you have some access to capital set aside and the staff and the woman and manpower to be able to fulfill these contracts. Another thing too is a lot of businesses don't even know that they're actually ready. Like I had one client who just got her 8A, and she's like afraid to go after the contract. I said, "You just got your 8A. You are ready to go after a federal contract." She didn't think she's ready. Everything she got there to go after 8A. She's a women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned business that has a home health care business and is doing very well. But she doesn't offer her services to the government. So we're actually in the process of now and helping her doing that, because number one, she didn't think that she could, even though she got an 8A. A lot of times people get scared of going after contracts because number one, they feel like they can't fulfill it, or they just don't even know what is the process, the steps on how to go about doing it. So in addition to connected with EFIN, with APACS, which is a government agency, but they can be short staffed, and sometimes it could take, some time to work with them. So we're trying to kind of help fill in them gaps that kind of got along through those processes.
Okay. So what else is the workshop about?
Yeah,
And
so
do we have a date on it? We want to put
yes,
it up on the screen.
November the 20th. It's from 2 to 5. Oh, 2:30 to 5. 2:30 to 5:30 at the Fallspark Golf Course, the clubhouse. And it's free, it's at no cost. And we have 6 speakers on the panel. We have 3 contracting officers that are on the inside, and we have 3 prime and subcontractors that are on the outside. So the people that's on outside gonna give their perspective how they got into government contracting, who helped them, the resources. And then also we have the 3 contracting officers. They're gonna talk about how you can actually bid for contracts in their agencies and what resources that are. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're gonna have exhibitor tables giving out information. So MBE will have a table, Baltimore Community Lender will have a table. We have some banks that will have a table. There's a company called Abzo where all they do is focus on financing government contracts. The governor office of minority affairs will have a table. So we're creating an APAC. So we're creating resources or hubs So when they get there, and the SBA will have a table there too. So from the federal, the state, and the local level, we're going to have resources to help these businesses take the right steps and to encourage them to get themselves ready to go after government contract. Because a lot of businesses are in different stages and different phases. They just not know what stage, what phase that they're in. So that's where we come in, diagnose, let them know where they're at and where they could be, and kind of guide them to that process where they should be and need be.
Sharif, let me just ask you a philosophical question. Should you have to fill out, are you an MBE certified?
Yes, sir.
Should you have to, do white businesses have to get certified?
White woman, yeah.
I mean, white
they don't
men.
have to, but they do.
No, do white men have to get certified to get contracts with the state?
No, we're talking about what type of white men are we talking about?
White men.
There's different types.
Do all black men have to get minority business certified?
They don't have to get a government contract, but it helps because
isn't there some inequity right there?
Oh, I agree with you.
A white man, you just said, does not need MBE certification, but I, as a black man, and you say it's a long, arduous process, I need to be minority certified.
Hey,
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that scenario, Sharif, in an era? Let me finish my question.
Okay.
What's wrong with that in an era where MBE no longer even covers just black people, in an era where you've had a black president, in an era where you now have a black governor, you've got a black mayor? Why is it that I, as a black man, have to prove that I'm black?
Man, you know the answer to that question. You know the world that we live in. You know we wasn't put over here.
Well, how is anything
yeah, but let me finish. You know we wasn't put over here to be equal. You already know that. You know that we got to work 10 times harder, than 20 times harder than everyone else. That's just the world that we're in. So my thing is, unfortunately, I can't whine and complain about it because that's just the way it's set up in this world. But what we gotta,
inequity.
I understand, but what we gotta do is so understand the net worth where we at, right? Our net worth is at zero and at negative, right? And then the net worth of other nationalities are a whole lot higher. There's a lot of reason that comes, to that. What I'm trying to focus on is the solution part, because we already know what the issues are. Education, political incarceration, unemployment. It's a mental, psychological thing. There's a lot of things that do that. I'm trying to read all past that and make sure that we get to the resources that we need and the guidance that we need to try to reduce that wealth gap. Because that's really what it comes down to. We got to reduce the information and the education gap, because we got to come together and we all got to work together and we got to collaborate more in our working silos. So there are contracts where you can work on and you can partner together on government contracts. Those are things that we need to be working on doing as well. So it's all about conversation, collaboration, and having a plan and resources and working together. That's where we need to be focusing on.
Let me tell you what it's also about. It's about being able to navigate business regardless of who is in office, Democrat or Republican. How do you see black businesses faring under the Trump administration? Do you think Donald Trump actually gives a rat's bottom about minority business enterprise? Is that going to be our strategy going forward with Donald Trump as president?
This is my opinion. Let's look at the previous administration. Let's look at the previous when he was in office. For 2016 to 2000, I believe the 20. And just focus on, what the economy was. There were black businesses that did well, and there were black businesses that didn't do well. I think the key thing is that whoever's in office, we got to see what the opportunities that were. There was resources for businesses, and we got to get in the game when it comes to owning businesses and owning real estate, because that's what our new commander in chief is going to be. And those are the tax benefits and the tax resources that are just. So when Trump was in office, I was focused on tax benefits and tax resources and real estate, because that's what the resources that are out there for our businesses. A lot of people just wanted to complain about, again, what was going on, but we got to focus on getting into the game. The game is out there. The tax laws are out there. We just got to tap into it, and we got to get in the game and really take advantage of these resources that are out there to build these businesses. So will Black businesses do well or do better under Trump administration? It's what we do. It's not really what's in the office. I get it, but it's really what we do as a people. Because think of all the other cultures, whether other administrations in there, they move different, right? Than the way we move. We don't move the way other cultures move. And that's the problem. What we got to do is we got to
It's a
mobilize and we got
problem.
to stabilize, and we got to work together. So that's how I look. And how I
That's a blanket statement. You say we don't move like other
not as much as we
communities
should.
move.
Not as much as we should.
So you're saying that the Latinos who speak Spanish and English, they move differently than we do who have been
Oh
here
yeah.
for
Oh yeah, there's something called delayed gratification. They'll be, yeah, they move totally. Every nationality move different the way we do. We got to be able to work
Damn,
together. We
Sharif,
got to
you just put
sacrifice.
Black people totally down. We don't know what we're doing.
I wouldn't say that we don't know what we're doing, but we got to do better, just a little bit better. I mean, look at our net worth. Like the numbers don't lie. Like look at our net worth. Look at our poverty. Look at the quality of life
Damn,
that
I'm
we live.
embarrassed to be a Black man in
Move,
business. Let you tell it.
move over that. I wouldn't say that. No, I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Because
And
let me get a comment in. It is my show.
uh,
Nothing is more annoying than hearing that your entire race of people is not doing well.
but I mean, we know that.
That's a heavy statement, Sharif.
But,
I don't know that you can just say
this
that
is, but
and
this is
walk
nothing.
away. Hold up, let me finish.
This is nothing. This is nothing new, though. You know that, right? You can look this up. It's statistics. It's facts.
It's pretty pathetic. Okay, anything else, Sharif?
So the key thing is that we got to focus on the solutions and the positivity. That's what I've been focused on. You know my track record. You know my receipts of what I be doing in the
I
community.
somewhat know your track record.
No,
but,
you know my track.
This is,
come on, now, part. I've been on your show like 4 or 5 times.
You've been on my
you get
show
my
before.
emails. You know what I do and what I work.
I know you do workshops. So does Wayne Frazier. So does Sheila Dixon. So does Edsel Brown down in Southern Maryland. But this is pretty sad that we have been in business as long as everybody else, but we move different. And it falls at the feet of the Black entrepreneur. What do you say to the Black consumer?
I wouldn't say it just fall at the feet of the Black entrepreneur. Like I've said before,
you said we don't move. You said
things,
every other group of people moves differently than do we.
And we already know that, right? But we also know there are things
I
that
don't know
put in
that.
place.
I don't personally buy that either, because
I just
having
said
grown up in a Black
incarceration.
family,
I just said
it's my show,
unemployment.
Sharif.
You know that government stuff that's been put in place.
Having grown up in a Black family business,
that was the first.
I've seen Black businesses take care of the community
I did not say that. I said overall.
You
I
said.
did not. So hold on. Let's be real. Let's cut the chat. Let's stop. So where my Wealth Summit each year, we highlight Black businesses that are doing well. We highlighted Eddie and Silver Brown. We highlighted $100 bet. We highlighted these Black businesses that are doing so don't do that, sir. Don't do that. We show positive Black businesses at our Wealth Summit, at our events each year. But like I said, overall, we need to be doing better. Look at the net worth. Look at the statistics. So don't do that, sir. Don't get me on your show and try to put words in my mouth. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Don't come on this show.
And don't try to compare me to other people. I am me. I'm Sharif Small. You know what I do in this community. You know the events that I do to try to empower people.
Sharif,
you know what?
There are many Black businesses who have been in business for decades, who have served this community.
I know that. I did not say that, sir. I did not say that. I did not say that. I said don't put words in my mouth. I did not say that. I did not say that. There are a lot of businesses that do well, and we highlight them. But I said overall, we still need to do better. Look at the net worth that we're at.
Everybody needs to do better.
Look at the net worth.
Everybody needs to do better.
But we're talking about Black people. We're talking about Black people right now. That's what you asked the question. You talk about black businesses, and I'm giving you an answer. You ain't got to like it. I don't care. But in the day, I'm doing the work in the field. I know you got your radio show, and that's
Not everybody
great.
wants a
But in
contract, Sharif.
addition, and I know that, and they can come to the event we got
And
going on
not
next week.
everybody needs a contract in order to be successful.
Sir, I did not say that. I said it helps sustain it. I ain't say it helps to be successful. They need coaching. They need a lot of things, right? I ain't said that they only need a government contract to be
I don't know
successful.
what your experience has been, but I've grown up around black businesses, and they've been feeding the community, taking care of the community, giving
Sir,
back.
I know that. Hey, sir, I'm one of them. I know
all my
that.
life.
And I know other businesses that are doing very well. We highlight them at our Wealth Summit. We highlight them at our Wealth Summit. We highlight, if you've been to my Wealth Summit, we highlight them at our Wealth Summit. I understand it, but sir, I did not say that. I did not say there's a lot of black businesses that are not doing well. I did not say that.
Sharif,
I just said overall, if you
research
look at that net worth, we could be doing better.
In my research on minority business enterprise, blacks get about 1% to 2% of contracts, and have done
Sir,
so.
I already know. That's the reason why we have our
30
that's the reason why we have our government contract workshop. I already know that. I already know that. We even say that.
You may know it, but does the general public understand
If
this?
you come to our sir, if you come to our events, they know that because we've been doing this event every year. You know
I've been
that.
doing events for 35
We've been doing
years.
that event. That's nice. And I've been doing events for the last 10, 15 years. That is very nice. When you come to our event, we talk about 1% of that we get in the government contract and increasing us into that field. We share that. We share that in our emails, and we share that when people come to our events.
Here's the interesting thing. We can have all of the black elected officials. Now, this is where I will agree that we move differently. If Latinos had the Latino governor, the Latino attorney general, the Latino treasurer of the state of Maryland, the Latino mayor, the Latino comptroller of the city of Baltimore, the Latino state's attorney, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Some people get contracts through minority business enterprise, and some people get contracts on a phone call. And I found that when the Republicans were in office, there was a lot more businesses, and I'm talking about here in the state of Maryland, under Ehrlich, under Hogan. Blacks participated more fully in the business process without this whole certification and running down, because this current administration, if you want to get to the nitty gritty, really brought in a bunch of new people who don't even know the process of MDOT, Maryland Department of Transportation, as well as the certification process itself. Now, getting the certification is one thing. Getting the contracts is another. So if there's anything that we as a people need to be doing, it's getting some friends in the Trump White House.
So that's why it's all about relationships. So that's what our event again is about. It's called networking. Your networking equals your net worth. So we have the contractors and we have businesses that are already in it, and we have people that are interested in getting the government contract. And so yes, you don't need a government contract to be able to be successful, but does it help? Yes, it does. How you go about doing everybody's path and getting a government contract is going to be different. That's why you have 4 or 5 different coaches that will be able to help you to navigate what is the best route, that you take. At the end of the day, I'm not here to argue with you or anything. At the end of the day, we have to be mobilized and working together and collectively, and coming together. Well, you don't have to like my statements, but the issue is that you construe the statements that I'm having. It's like you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I tried to break them down, but you spit them off so fast.
I break them down for you. I think very intelligently and the right way. I don't think it's rocket science the way I'm talking and the way I'm explaining and when I'm communicating things. The thing I've been saying for the last 10, 15 years on your show and on everybody's show, I stick to the solutions. We can talk about issues all day. We know what the issues are. I'm focused on solutions. You see my track record of what I do in the community. That's what I've been focusing on. So we can go back and forth about
just like issues. I see hundreds of other businesses.
But
as we have put different governors and mayors in office, we have to be able to articulate.
We have to realize we can't wait for the government to help us. We have to work with them, but we can't wait for them to solve our issues. We have to come together, mobilize together, like I said before, and work on doing this together. Is there a lot of businesses that are doing well? Yes, they are, but we need to do more. We need to do a little bit better. Because again, look at the statistics of our net worth and of our quality of life compared to everyone else. We still need to do better, and that's all I was saying. And it's
Everybody
like when
needs to do better,
oh,
Sharif. I don't think
I
anyone.
get that. I get that, but I'm talking about
I
black
don't
people.
think
You
anyone
asked about
has.
black businesses, and I'm giving you a black business answer. I'm giving you a business solution answer. You did not ask about everybody else. You asked about black people, so I'm giving you the answer. Now, if you don't like it, that's on you. That ain't on me. That's not my problem, to be honest
All
with you.
right,
Because
Sharif.
at the end of the day, when I leave here, I got work to do, and I don't have
Okay.
time to be going back and forth because this is wasted energy. Like I just really don't.
Okay.
I got
Thank
nothing but
you.
love for you, but I'm gonna be honest with you too.
Huh? What'd you say?
I say, I got nothing but love for you, but I'm also going to be honest with you too.
Okay, Sharif. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, that's it.
Okay. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. So we've been covering minority business enterprise at least for 25 years. And some of these things are true. I don't think our community is any more challenged than anyone else. I think what we haven't really discussed is the minority business enterprise and its history and where it's going. Where it's, whether or not we've actually scrutinized. A lot of times, we shake hands and we do the political thing. But the truth is, right now, we're in the Trump era. And a lot of things are done on a handshake. And people have sustained for generations. So MBE, and yes, Arnold Jolivet, Robert Lee Clay, and countless others have been out there on the front lines to help Black people get a piece of the pie. But we also know that when you get rid of a Sabrina Bass from the certification process and you replace her with people who have a fraction of her experience, then that's another reason why Black people are left hanging. The inside shenanigans, the Black politics. You're not in my sorority. You're not in my fraternity. I agree. We could be doing better with Black elected officials in all levels of government. Now we've got this is what. So, Jai, this is not the platform. This platform is actually online. Are you coming on the show? Because we can bring you on. Jai?
No, I apologize. I'm looking for the online platform. Sorry.
So you go to youtube.com/Donnie Glover, or you go to facebook.com/Black USA News.
Gotcha.
This was
Thank
never the platform for listening. Thank you. So there's a long history of advocacy. The real question is, has it been working? Now, I understand the QuickBooks, but I also understand that when you have certain people in place, and we will be seeing it on a federal level, whether we agree with Matt Gaetz as the person to be the next attorney general or not, these are the people that the Trump administration has been putting into play. What we have attempted to bring you on this show is people on both sides of the aisle. For instance, David Byrd out of Prince George's County. There's Raynard Jackson down in D.C., strong Black Republicans. And that's who you're going to need, because it's not always about filling out the forms and getting an MBA. I don't want a subcontract. I don't want to be treated like a slave. I've done that. We want prime contracts. White man doesn't have to prove he's white. And Sharif says that we know what the game is. We should have to, that he's okay with us proving that we're Black. Well, I tell you, in the 20 years I've been in business with both Democrats and Republicans, it wasn't through any certification. It was through a damn phone call. That's how business is done. Now, some people, hey, knock yourself out. There are ways to sustain your business with that process. But I found that people spend a lot more time trying to get certified than just getting the damn business, knowing who is who and what is what. My name's Donnie Glover, and we will be back tomorrow with a brand new show at 9 a.m. Up to date, down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. Use what's in between your ears. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning, world.